Story 1. I caught my future MIL trying to squeeze into my wedding dress. Spoiler, didn't go well. I've been engaged to my fiancée for a year now, and we're planning a wedding in Colombia this December. I'm beyond excited. It's going to be a destination wedding, and I'm really glad I managed to talk him into it. However, my future mother-in-law is not thrilled about the whole thing. I've always known she wasn't exactly my biggest fan. She's polite, but in that overly fake, friendly way. She'll do things like sit on my fiancé's lap, tuck his hair behind his ear, and cut his food for him. Once I even saw her feed him. In public. After I told him that felt a little weird, to his credit, it hasn't happened since. Now, she's completely obsessed with the idea that our wedding in Colombia is a disaster waiting to happen. She constantly worries we'll be murdered. I roll. Complains about her expensive airfare, the guest list, and how some people won't be able to attend. She goes on about the dangers of malaria, how no one in Colombia speaks English, and the list goes on. I try to limit her involvement in the wedding planning, but when I do, she complains to my fiancé behind my back about being excluded. She came over yesterday under the pretense of seeing our new house, but really, she came to drop some constructive feedback. Here's what she had to say. She hates my engagement ring because it's too extravagant. There are children starving in Africa, and people die for these rocks. It's a moissanite, by the way. Our new townhouse is an extravagant display of wealth and doesn't suit us. We got a great deal on it, so I'm pretty happy. I've gained weight. Apparently, I need to watch my calories so I can fit into my dress. Meanwhile, she's bragging about her diet and how chic and slimming her mother-of-the-bride dress is. This wonderful conversation was interrupted when my fiancé asked me to help him assemble a bed for the guest room. So, I left her to her own devices while I helped him out. About 40 minutes later, I went to take a bathroom break and headed into the master bedroom, only to find my future MIL stuck in my wedding dress. I blurted out, "What the hell?" And she started panicking, stammering, "Oh my God, oh my God, oh God." At first, I was just worried she might ruin the sheer backing of the dress, so I rushed over to help her. Unfortunately, it was too late. She had managed to scratch the back of the dress and rip the sheer material. Plus, she broke the zipper and left a dirty footprint on the train. I asked her as I helped her out of the dress, and let me note, with a lot of disgust, she wasn't wearing any underwear. What on earth she was thinking? She responded that she was just making sure the dress would fit me, because if it fit her, it must fit me too. If it didn't, then I clearly had some work to do. Forget the fact that I just had my final fitting and the dress fit perfectly. My fiancée is really disturbed by what happened, and honestly, I'm equally disturbed. It didn't feel like she was just playing dress up for fun. There was a bouquet of dried flowers on the bed that wasn't there before, and I honestly think she was trying to pretend she was the bride. And that, for so many reasons, is incredibly wrong. She hasn't offered to pay for any repairs to the dress. The train is ripped, and I won't know how much it'll cost to fix until I see the seamstress tomorrow. Instead of an apology, she's lecturing me about how much money I spent on the dress and how the trouble she had getting into it is a sign I should have gone with something simpler. It's honestly taking every ounce of willpower to stop myself from telling her to pound sand. I'll wear my Galia Lahav dress to my damn grave if I have to, and she'd better keep her opinions to herself. Comment 1. You need to present her with the entire repair bill and insist that she pays in full. This bag would be my hill to die on. What the heck was she thinking? I would also never allow her in your house again. The woman is not to be trusted. I would make all meetings in public areas. If you need to, change the locks and set up cameras. Comment 2. This may be a bit scorched earth, but I would personally tell her that either she pays for the repairs or she is uninvited. This is top-notch Joe Costa bullshit. She needs penalties. However, get your FH on board. He may push back because he has normalized her behavior, but if you let her get away with this, it might give the expectation that you won't stand up for yourself in the future. Comment 3. I recommend you take FDH to the seamstress so he can watch her face when you explain that his mother tried to put on your dress with NO underwear on. Comment 4. Why are you restraining yourself from telling her to pound sand? How would you react if it had been your best friend, or an acquaintance, or a stranger? We tend to defer to moms/MILs, but they really only have the power that we give them. She violated a boundary in a major way. It's okay to be angry with her about that, and to express your anger. Story 2. Update to MIL that ruined my wedding dress. The wedding is off. Hey everyone. First off, thank you all so much for your kind words and support. I'm sorry I haven't been keeping everyone updated, but these last few weeks have been rough, to say the least. So, to get straight to it, the wedding is off. We're still together and engaged, but things are really strained between us. The only thing keeping me in this relationship right now is that I love him deeply, and I can see how much this is hurting him. I want to work through it if we can, so we've both agreed to see a couple therapists. After my future mother-in-law ruined my wedding dress, my fiancé confronted her over the phone, demanding she help pay for the damage. She refused, saying it was an accident and she was just trying to help. She tried to spin this whole mess as her helping me by giving me a standard to aspire to, and admitted she just wanted to feel young and beautiful like me. And the worst part? He believed her. At that point, I lost it. I pushed for him to take it further, and we went to the seamstress together. The verdict? The dress is completely ruined. It's beyond repair. The beading is destroyed, the sheer back is shredded, thanks to her ridiculous fake nails, and the tool on the train is torn. Parts of the seams are split beyond saving, and other sections are irreparable. Hearing how bad the damage was to my dress crushed me, but what really set me off was my fiancé's reaction at the seamstresses. He kept downplaying the damage, suggesting some things could have been an accident, and even lied to the seamstress, saying the dress had been damaged when his mom tried to relive her model days. I corrected him and told the seamstress exactly what happened. His mother deliberately tried to put on the dress without permission and wrecked in the process. The real fun started when we got home, and I told him that if she didn't pay for the dress, I wanted to sue her. He hit me with some excuse about how the cost of the dress wasn't enough for a lawsuit. So I did what anyone would do. I hit the internet, posted on the legal advice subreddit, and Googled the small claims court threshold for Virginia. I printed everything out, shoved it in front of him, and forced him to read it. Reluctantly, he agreed she owed us something and called her while I sat there. He argued with her for a few minutes, and then she broke down crying, accusing him of not loving her, calling me trash for turning him against her, and claiming that money shouldn't matter more than her love for him. And guess what? He soothed her. He told her he understood, that I was just being emotional about the dress, and that we could pay for it and let this blow over. She kept crying, and he told her he'd talk to me. After they hung up, he had the nerve to turn to me and suggest that we just pay for the dress and move on. That's when I lost it. I screamed at him, and I cried harder than I ever have because it felt like he was taking her side over mine. I told him this wasn't about the dress anymore. If he really thought it was just about some overpriced dress, then we needed to cancel the wedding. He and his mother could have a great vacation to Colombia without me. We argued, but of course, he told me he understood my point. I told him I didn't want her at the wedding. Shockingly, he agreed. The next day, he called her to tell her she was no longer invited to the wedding. I actually felt a bit proud when he hung up on her after she screamed and sobbed about how he can't do this. For a moment, I thought maybe I was wrong about him not standing up to his mother. But then, I was using our shared iPad. I rarely use it since I prefer my Kindle, when I stumbled upon messages from FMIL. She was asking about buying discounted flights to Colombia, and as I scrolled through the messages, I saw that the day after he disinvited her, he'd already folded. He told her he'd only disinvited her for my sake, but still wanted her at the wedding, and he planned to work on changing my mind. He even said that if I didn't come around by the wedding weekend, I could deal with it. I completely lost my mind. I packed my bags, and he ended up leaving to stay with a friend while I stayed in the house. The fight was ugly. So here we are. We've both agreed to couples counseling, and that's non-negotiable. I feel like I've been played. He's been trying to keep everyone happy. Her, me, everyone, and it's been a mess. We've agreed to postpone the wedding for now, regardless of the deposits, until we can rebuild trust. As for FMIL, she's furious and trying to turn this into me being a greedy, trashy villain who's ruining her and her son's lives. She's even tried showing up at the house multiple times to collect her baby, but I haven't answered the door. To his credit, my fiancé has blocked her number and hasn't told her where he's staying. He's gone no contact until we start therapy, and he's handed over all his passwords and the iPad, so I can check his messages whenever I want. And trust me, I am. I love him. I really do. I want to make it work, but with FMIL in the picture, I just don't know if I can. Honestly, I've had to start looking through his emails and messages to make sure there's no contact from her, and I can't even begin to explain how messed up that feels. Sorry for the long post. But please send us luck with therapy. I'm struggling to keep my hope alive. This has been the hardest month of my life. Comment 1. Even if it was an accident, it's still her responsibility to make you whole. Comment 2. Above anything else is the fact that she wanted to pretend to be her own son's bride. How does that not skeeve him out beyond all reason? That alone would make me go and see for all eternity. He needs to understand that she's acting like a jealous girlfriend, not a mother. I hope things get better for you. Comment 3. Absolutely, take her to small claims. And do it now. I think FH's reaction to that will tell you all you need to know. Story 3. FMIL that destroyed my dress has decided stalking me at work. Showing up at the house and the grocery store to get a glimpse of her baby is appropriate. This has been the cherry on top of a not-so-great week. To everyone who has slammed my husband, PM me to call me weak, pathetic, or stupid. Trust me, I get how this looks to other people. But he's not getting away with anything. I know seeking help and counseling might look foolish to some, but this is my relationship, and I'd really appreciate it if people could respect that. Also, to the nasty individuals who read my posts and then share them on Facebook or other sites just to leave hateful comments or try to figure out my identity, you got a special place in hell reserved. If this continues, I might have to stop posting here altogether. It's becoming too much. Too many people are reaching out, trying to guess who I am and who my future mother-in-law is, and it's adding a ton of unnecessary stress. The only reason I'm still posting here is to ask for advice from other women on how to deal with a future mother-in-law who's getting more aggressive by the day. So, here's the update. First off, my fiancé has kept his end of the bargain and had zero contact with his mom. How do I know? Well, I've been keeping an eye on his accounts because I don't trust her, and she's losing her mind over it. This week alone, I've woken up to the following. My Ring app going off 4 times during odd hours of the night. It's her. I have footage of her shoving nasty notes under my door, demanding to speak to my fiancé and accusing me of driving a wedge between them. Text messages calling me a disgrace to womanhood, telling me I'm going to burn in hell for forbidding contact between them, and saying it's unnatural for a son not to see his mother. She's even come to my work. When I refused to meet her, security had to escort her out. I saw her lurking by the employee entrance when I pulled out of the parking garage. She knows that my fiancé and I typically go shopping on Wednesday nights because she's joined us before. Guess who was pacing outside the parking lot at 7 p.m.? Yep, her. We didn't get out of the car once we saw her hanging around the entrance. I'm documenting everything, just in case she continues to escalate. My fiancé and I are going to the local police station tomorrow to file a report and look into getting a temporary restraining order against her. Thank you to everyone who's been supportive, offering kind words, and even sending me sweet offers of baked goods. You all are amazing, and I really appreciate you more than you know. Comment 1. I am so sorry this happened to you, let alone went viral. Just got to get that out before we get locked down again. Gonna read now. Back. Change your shopping day or store if you can, and be prepared for her to go batshit insane, even more so when that RO gets served. She will be in jail soon for repeated violations, no doubt. I'm still hoping and praying the wedding dress company sees this and offers you a new dress. Comment 2. I'm so sorry this has been posted on other forums and you've been attacked. This should be a safe place to share and get some advice. It's easier for others to say you should throw your whole relationship away, but this is the guy you plan to marry, not a 2-week fling. That's wonderful that he's been in C with her. That's a huge win. Hopefully he's seeing her crazy more clearly now that she's stalking you too. Be safe. If you made it to the end of the video, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share, and we will see you in the next video.